Sometimes revenge doesn't come with screams or storms. Sometimes, all it takes is silence. My revenge began with nothing more than a quiet smile. The day they fired me, they told me, confidently, that I was redundant. Meaning the company no longer needed me. But fate has a sense of humor. 3 days later, the entire office was scrambling to find me. Why? Because the only operating license controlling billions in machinery, thousands of clients, and the company's entire system was registered under my name. The girl they dismissed as unnecessary was actually the foundation of their empire. This is the story of that day, and the days that followed. My name is Amelia Hart. I'm 27, ambitious, and sharp. For 5 years, I had been completely devoted to Volteris engineering. I built their regulatory systems, managed compliance filings, and handled operations that no one else could. But that morning, something felt off. People avoided my eyes. An email from HR instructed me, please report to conference room 4A. Everyone knew 4A was where careers went to die. Inside, the HR director fidgeted, the operations manager tapped nervously, and Martin Hale, the CEO, sat with his rehearsed sympathetic smile. Amelia, we regret to inform you that your position has been marked as redundant, our said. Redundant. A word meant to erase me. I had spent 5 years building the backbone of their operations. But instead of panicking, I felt calm. I looked Martin in the eyes. Are you sure about this? I asked. Yes. We've restructured. We no longer need your role, he replied. I smiled to myself. They didn't know, not yet. The Level 9 Federal Operating License, the only credential legally allowed to run the company's energy systems, was under my name. They had fired the wrong person. I left the room quietly, badge on the table, without a single tear. The first crack in their empire. The morning after my firing was peaceful, my first true freedom in years. Until 9:14 a.m. Daniel from operations called, panic in his voice. Amelia, we have a situation. The plant won't start. I waited calmly. All of it? I asked. Yes. Every system. License holder authorization required, he stammered. I let it sink in. That license is under my name, Daniel. Not the company's. Silence. Then Martin called. His voice shook. Amelia, we need that license. I leaned back. I'm redundant, remember. Click. By the afternoon, Volteris was paralyzed. Emails bouncing, systems offline, clients panicking. The empire they thought could survive without me was crumbling. Where the collapse begins. Day 2 brought full-blown panic. Emails flew like wildfire. Managers ran in circles. Printers jammed. Servers flashed warnings. News outlets caught wind. Volteris faces major operational failure. I watched it unfold from my apartment, quietly, strategically. Revenge isn't always about anger. Sometimes, it's about letting people face the consequences of their own arrogance. By noon, calls flooded in. Daniel, HR, operations, and finally Martin. Please, we'll do anything. Name your terms, he begged. I paused. This isn't about terms. It's about consequences. You dismissed someone indispensable, and now, you are watching your empire crumble. I hung up. By late afternoon, Martin was in my lobby, disheveled, desperate, humbled. I simply walked past him, head held high, leaving him powerless. Amelia's return to power and the ultimate revenge. The next morning, Volteris HQ looked like a war zone. Alarms blaring, servers red, managers panicking. I walked in, not as a redundant employee, but as the only person legally authorized to operate the entire system. Lights flickered, consoles hummed, emails began flowing. The office fell silent. Martin begged for a private meeting. Anything you want, Amelia. Salary, position, anything. I leaned back. I'm not here to negotiate. I'm here to teach a lesson. You fired me thinking I was useless. You thought you could replace me. And now, you see what happens without me. His face went pale. Within a week, I was offered a formal partnership, not a mere job. Executives who ignored or undermined me were sidelined. Ulysses' policies were rewritten to ensure my voice carried weight. And Martin, he learned humility the hard way. I didn't humiliate anyone. I didn't destroy anyone. I let reality, my indispensability, speak for itself. The final lesson: true revenge is not about causing suffering. It's about revealing the truth. I walked out of Volterras with freedom, power, and satisfaction. The empire survived, but only because of me. And they would never forget it. Sometimes, the most powerful revenge is silent. Sometimes, it's in showing people the consequences of their own mistakes. I didn't need to yell. I didn't need to storm the office. I simply existed. And sometimes, that's enough. O's stronger than ever.